So how do you start making a plan associated with your goal? Let's take a quick look. We're going to look at understanding, developing, and using SMART goals. SMART goals provide a lot of guidance, and they allow you to have an opportunity to measure what you're doing, to make sure that it's really meaningful, and to put focus and provide steps to be able to get to that big long-term goal. A short-term goal is what we will focus on updating every 2 weeks, and a long-term goal is something that you want over a long period of time. So you might want to develop, for instance, you might want to earn a certain grade in a class. That would be a long-term goal. And the short-term goal is what you'll do each week to be able to get that good grade, which would be related to perhaps study skills, working with groups, deadlines for your project or for assignments, etc. A goal has components to it that are different than objectives. An objective is more like, I want to be able to do ABC. A goal has specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely components. The measure is how you're going to illustrate your success, and there is a variety of ways that you can do that, and this will be up to you to decide how to assess your progress. So we're going to look at each one. SMART goals has an S, which means a specific or targeted, focused, clear outcome. And you evaluate, what do I want to do by the time this period is over? And who's going to be involved? Is it going to be me? Am I going to need some support? I had asked you in the first module to identify something that you wanted to work on and why it was important. So identifying its significance or importance to you will help to motivate you. And if it's not important, you won't spend effort to do it. And you also are going to describe how you're going to get this done. The measurable component includes how you track your progress. It needs to be something that makes sense for what you want to achieve. So looking at how often, how many times, how much, what is going to be my measurement of success. How am I going to measure it? Am I going to journal it? Am I going to track it in my planner? Am I going to make a calendar? So the measurable component has a number of components to consider. Attainable means that it's just right. Not too hot, not too cold, not too easy, not too hard. It's something that you can control. It's you can only do your own study skills. You can't make somebody else study and get the grade for you. So we want to make sure that it's something that you can do, that it's something within your control, that it's not something that is 2 years away. It needs to be designed in a reasonable amount of time. Do you have resources that you need or skills that you need? And are there limitations in place that you think of in advance and help to plan for them? That's the attainable. Relevance is R. Why do you want to do it? How is it going to help you by achieving that goal? What is it going to do for you? Is it going to make you more efficient? Is it going to make you help you to be able to sleep better? Is it going to help you to run faster? Each goal needs to have an outcome that's desirable for yourself and maybe somebody else. Sometimes we have other components in our wishes that we want to earn, and a goal may or may not be in the big picture a big contributor. So say you want to run a 10-minute mile. Well, that might be related to your ability to run a 5K in a specific amount of time. So it's leading to success in another goal that you have. And it needs to be the right time in your life. We don't want to say someday I will. A lot of times students will say, well, when I graduate, I'll quit smoking. Well, then it's not the right time to think about changing that behavior. Even though it's an important behavior, it might be something that's significant to you, but if it's not the right time, then it's not going to be relevant to you at this moment. Time-based means that you think about dates, you think about when and how often you're going to do this practice. I'm in a mindfulness training right now, and we were challenged to practice this body scan 5 out of 7 days per week. So I know that I've got that determination, that time frame, that number of times that I want to complete before I have the next session, which is going to be a week from today. Other things to consider, does this goal involve changing things about you? You can't change what your roommates bring into the house to eat. You can't control that. It has to be what you have. Your goal would not be, cannot be directed to whether or not your roommates make any changes or depend upon your roommates to make other changes. You need to have something that is going to help you in the short term or immediately. You want to have some immediate improvement in your life. And sometimes you need to reach another step before a preliminary step before you do step 2. So we want to always think about step 1 as being where we need to start. We have what we need, who we need, skills we need, so forth. Here's an example. So this is a goal that students have used in the past. I'm feeling lonely, I want to meet new people. So if we're looking at making that a SMART goal, I want to make new friends, so I'm going to attend at least one social activity every week for the next 4 months. So just one minimally per week. Some options might be going to a movie with my friends, going out to dinner with my friends, going to a campus event, anything that fits into your needs, desires, and likes. So you identify what some options are based upon your likes. So here's an example, and we're going to look at evaluating it, and this is something that I encourage you to do. Here's someone who has a lot of anxiety, and I want to manage it better. I've had it for a long period of time. So the specific thing is you want to identify, what do I want to do? Who's involved? Why is it important? How am I going to get this done? Well, specific to just say, I want to limit my anxiety, you got to think about, what am I going to do to improve my management of my anxiety? So one step might be to learn an evidence-based anxiety management skill like grounding. The person who's involved, taking personal responsibility. Maybe a therapist is involved if I need to seek some external guidance and I have access to SyndiCUES, for example. It's important because it'll help me to be more confident. It's going to help me manage my schedule better. It's going to help me to improve my success academically on exams, etc. How will I get this done? Well, I'm going to read about it, I'm going to learn about it, I'm going to practice it. So that's getting the specificity. For measurement, so again, I have a lot of anxiety, a lot to do, I want to manage it better. Well, if we keep going with this anxiety, there are a couple links in the e-learning that I've posted about anxiety that'll tie in with this. Well, I'm going to practice this grounding technique. Well, I'm going to do it at least 3 times a week when I'm feeling anxious. I'm going to do one single grounding technique, and I'm going to measure my progress by journaling it and using an anxiety scale to measure, has my anxiety changed? I'm going to accomplish this by using that scale, and I'm going to look for a lowering of 2 to 3 points on that scale, and that's when I know that I've reached some progress and some success on this goal. So there needs to be a measurement. Time. When is this going to be achieved? Well, I'm going to start tomorrow, and my goal is in 3 months, if I do it 3 times a week and use that anxiety scale and log it in my journal, that feels realistic to me based upon the schedule, my timing, and how anxious I am. I do not need to wait. I'm ready to do it tomorrow. And then I want to go back to the A. Can this be achieved? Do I have the resources? What limitations? Is it too easy, too hard? Well, I already have identified a therapist. I'm finding some books to learn and some resources online about grounding therapy. And I also have a journal that I'm going to record my information, and I found that scale to measure my anxiety. I know there are some limitations. I have a lot of extra things that I'm doing. I have school, work, I have to fit exercise in, I have my academics I'm worried about. So how am I going to manage to fit it in around those things? I want to think about how I'm going to manage those limitations. Is it too easy or too hard? Well, I'm not looking for my world to be fixed. I'm just looking to be able to have a decrease in my symptoms and to start to feel some relief. This is the first step to get a hold of that anxiety, and I at this point I feel like it's just right. R. Why do I want to do this? How will it help myself? Is it in line, and is it the right time? Well, I feel prepared. I've got all my things. I really believe that helping anxiety and my mental health is going to benefit me and how I feel in my confidence, how I perform on my exams, and how I can get a good work balance with my life. It will help me, but it also can help those that interact with me as well, that I won't be perhaps so anxious at different times, and I'll be able to work on those group projects in a more timely manner. Is it in line with other goals? Yes, it is, because I want to do better academically, and I really want to feel confident in my job. So the updated goal is, starting tomorrow, during the next 4 months, I will learn and practice a grounding technique at least 3 days per week to help my anxiety symptoms by 2 scale points. And I've set this for, what I've asked you to do is to set a goal for 2 weeks. So truly, this is more of a long-term goal, but if we're writing it for the assignment starting tomorrow for the next 2 weeks, I will learn a technique and I'll practice 3 days a week to reduce my anxiety symptoms at least 2 scale points. Now, goals will be adjusted. Goals can be, they're not in stone. If we made it too easy, then we will bump it up a little bit. If it's too hard, then perhaps we got to step back a little bit. Each module, we're going to look at the content and see how does that content influence, impact my ability to be successful with my goal. It may or may not. That's okay. But that's the process that we're looking for. Thank you for listening.